The phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. Not a call, a vibration. Brief, controlled, like someone tapping a glass wall to see if it would crack. She was asleep beside me, facing away, her breathing shallow, practiced. I didn't move, didn't blink, just reached for her phone with 2 fingers like it might bite. The screen lit up. A preview notification. Mom, Phase 1 is tomorrow. Is everything set? Pinned above it. An iMessage thread title. Operation Freedom. Getting her out. I stared at the words until they stopped being letters and started being wounds. This wasn't rage. Rage is loud. This was colder, sharper, surgical. I locked the phone, placed it back exactly where it had been, laid my hand on my chest to slow my heart. Beside me, my wife shifted, murmured my name in her sleep. I didn't answer. I watched the ceiling until the sun began to bleed through the blinds and something inside me calcified into resolve. I didn't confront anyone. I started planning. I told myself there had to be an explanation. Families joke, overreact, use dramatic names for stupid things. But jokes don't have phases. I replayed the last 6 months like surveillance footage. Her sudden girls' weekends. The lawyer cousin who just wanted to catch up. The way her mother started asking questions about our finances. Casual. Too casual. I remembered the night she asked, out of nowhere, whose name was on the savings account. Her voice had been light, curious, strategic. I'd laughed it off, kissed her forehead, trusted her. That night replayed differently now. So did the way she stopped touching me. The way she studied me when she thought I wasn't looking. Like I was a problem she was rehearsing how to solve. Still, I smiled, cooked dinner, went to work, kissed her goodbye every morning. Inside, something dark unfurled. I didn't sleep much, didn't need to. I needed clarity. I waited 3 days before I touched her phone again. By then, I already knew the passcode. I'd watched her enter it 100 times. Inside the group chat were 13 people. Her parents, her siblings, an aunt who worked in real estate, the lawyer cousin, even her childhood friend, the one who toasted us at our wedding. They talked about me like I was already gone. We'll make it look mutual. He won't see it coming. Once she files, he'll panic. Men like him always do. Phase 1 was simple. She would accuse me of emotional distance, suggest a trial separation, push for me to leave the house temporarily. Phase 2 involved lawyers, assets, narratives. Phase 3 was erasure. They weren't planning to leave me. They were planning to dismantle me. I closed the chat and began quietly completing my own operation. I moved money in amounts too small to trigger alerts, changed passwords from a secure terminal at work, created a new email she didn't know existed. I froze my credit, separated joint accounts, digitized every receipt, every statement. I recorded conversations, not illegally, just carefully. At night, I lay beside her and listened to her practice lies in her sleep. Sometimes she'd wake and look at me, searching my face for cracks. I gave her none. I was calm, attentive, present. She mistook that for ignorance. That was her final miscalculation. Phase 1 came on a Tuesday. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug she didn't drink from. Her voice trembled right on cue. I don't feel like we're connected anymore. I nodded, said nothing. I think maybe we need some space, just to breathe. She watched me carefully as she said it, waiting for anger, for confusion, for fear. I reached into my briefcase instead, placed a folder on the table between us. She frowned. What's that? My plan, I said, calm, even. I finished it early. She opened the folder, her color drained. Bank statements, account closures, property deeds, retitled. A printed screenshot of the group chat. The title circled in red. Her mouth opened, closed. I finally met her eyes. I know about Operation Freedom, I said. I've known for weeks. Silence collapsed the room. Her hands started shaking. You went through my phone? I smiled faintly. You went through my life. She broke then, crying, apologizing, reaching. I stayed seated. Still, I didn't want it to be like this, she sobbed. No, I said. You wanted it clean. I slid one final document across the table. Divorce papers. Filed. Served. Already processed. You don't get the house, I continued, or the accounts, or the narrative. Her lawyer cousin had already called me that morning. I'd enjoyed that conversation. I've left you what you brought into the marriage, I said. Nothing more, nothing less. She stared at the papers like they were written in a foreign language. You can't do this, she whispered. I stood. I already did. I walked past her, past the life we staged, out the door. She didn't follow. She didn't need to. The damage was complete. Weeks later, I heard how the story changed, how she cried to her family, how they blamed each other, how the group chat went silent. They'd planned for chaos. They hadn't planned for silence. I moved into a smaller place with clean lines and no history. I slept deeply for the first time in months. Sometimes I think about her, not with anger, with understanding. She thought freedom meant escape. I learned it meant control. The truth didn't set me free. It handed me the knife, and I chose exactly where to cut.